All right, guys, how's it going? Fishing California with EBA. Today we're talking all about fishing, of course. Today I really want to break down the Pflueger President spinning reel. This is a spinning reel that's been out for a long time. Early generation Pfluegers. They have some XT models. They have the presidential model. Pflueger's a great brand. It's a great intermediate brand. So I really like the Pflueger President because it is kind of like that base level. It's a $99, $80 to $100 reel, depending on if you're paying full price or, sometimes you can get a little bit of a savings. This Pflueger Presidential, has been a real, consistent performer. These fishing reels have been, obviously they're at that lower level. They're not, super expensive high-end gear, but at the same time they perform really good. They perform at a high level for a really long time. I would say in the right around 3 years of really high performance before you start to notice certain parts start to kind of just not perform as well. Certain parts might corrode, certain parts might end up wearing out. You might have to replace certain things, things of that nature. But the first 3 years, Pflueger President reels perform extremely well. So today we're going to talk about this reel. We're going to talk about the ups, the downs, some of the things that I really like about it. Right now I've got it set up on an NRX 822 SYR. I've had it on a 901 S SJR for the NRX, Shimano G Loomis spinning rods. I put them on a lot of G Loomis rods, especially the newer model ones. They're really slick. They got a blue, baby blue, and a dark blue, and a gold trim as an accent. So baby blue with a gold trim, dark blue with a gold trim, or royal blue, whatever you want to call it. Incredible, just, as far as aesthetics, the look, the feel, the combination with the NRX paired up. I've, fished Stellas, $700, $500 Stellas, USDM, JDM models. And then I've put this Pflueger President. I prefer the 20s and the 25s for the most part, unless you're going like really deep and you're doing 80 to 100 feet down, spooning, whatever, drop shotting and things of that nature. You might want to go up with the 30, the 35 size reel, the spool. But I really like the 20s and the 25s, and I'm going to break down why, and we're going to talk about all that. But one thing is the 20s are probably my favorite model. One of the reasons they're my favorite model is they do allow you to retrieve at a 5-to-1 gear ratio, which is slower than most spinning reels. A lot of times, just being able to go a little bit slower and maintain control over that cast, really, I seem to feel like when we have these transitions, cold water, that 5 gear gets bit sometimes on days when 6 gear ratios, like the 6-to-1 is very popular, and it does work. However, there's days when that 5-to-1 is magic and 6-to-1's just barely getting it done or not getting it done at all. So the gear ratios on those two, you get a 5-2, there's some spinning reels that come 5-4, 5-6 ones. I've seen some 5-8s, I've seen some 6 ones, some 6-2 ones is the most common. That's the most common spinning reel I've ever, 6.21 inches per full turn. That's what we're talking about, is a full turn on the reel, how many inches that it's going to collect, or how much line it's going to collect. When we talk 5.21, 6.21, we're talking 5.21 inches for every full turn. So, Pflueger spinning reels, let's talk about them. Really worth the, it's a big bang for your buck. Like I said, durability, 3 years, you're going to need to obviously maintain this reel a little bit. Might get you 5 years, but eventually stuff's going to wear out. You're going to have to replace those parts. They're not too tricky. It's not complicated. There's a YouTube video. I might make one soon about, repairing certain things in these reels, or these bait casters, spinning reels that really are small dollar 50-cent items. Just taking them apart and replacing something really small seems like a big deal, but when you actually do it, it seems to be like very universal. So a spinning reel from this company, a bait caster from that company, these parts are very interchangeable. So let's you know, maybe I got carried away. Let's talk about it. You know, is it worth the money? Would you buy it? You know, well, I guess here's what I'm saying. You know, I've got the top of the line, and then I've got some medium, intermediate type, semi-advanced, you know, fishing equipment. It's mediocre. It's good. And then you've got your lower level. And for the lower level tackle, I would say this reel is the best you're gonna get. Now, one of the things I really like about this reel, because we haven't broke down what I like and what I don't like yet, but I've talked about a lot of things, but one of the things I really like about this reel is it's light, it's balanced, it's compact. You know, for the 20 and the 25s, they're perfect. I mean, light rod, light reel, balanced all together, creates this feel, creates the ability for me to kind of get a little bit of extra action, or a little bit of extra snap, a little bit of extra give, a little bit of extra all the way around on this reel rod combo. Sometimes that's what you're looking for. So you might have a really nice reel, like say this 20. And if I was to buy, if I was to pair up my Stella, my Shimano Stella, that reel's going to be about an extra 1.2 to 1.4 ounces. So it's actually a heavier reel. Upside is, well, you know, it's going to be durable for a lot longer. Downside is it's $700. So $79, $89, or $780, $790 after tax. I can get 10 reels to the price of one. The way I look at it is, even if that Stella performs for 5 years without having issues, I could buy 10 spinning reels for that one, and they're all going to perform fairly at that same level as the Stella. I know, hard to believe how well this, however, this is just selling gimmicks in the industry of fishing. So if they told you that there's not, you know, the difference really is that the Stella, when you turn that handle, boy, is it smooth. Boy, does it feel slick. I mean, you're like getting high just off touching the Stella, just off fishing the Stella. You don't got to catch nothing. However, when you really say, how much further does my line cast? Well, it's about the same. Well, how much better is a Stella as a tool to reel a fish in? And the answer is yes. It has better parts. Yes, it's made with higher quality components. Yes, it's got more of a durability factor. But no, you know, unlike what a lot of people tell you, you're not going to lose the fish of a lifetime because of a cheap reel. You're going to lose the fish of a lifetime because you are not prepared. So having when I hook into a big fish, the first thing I do is I set and tune my drag to a particular position. And if it's a big fish, if it's a stud, if it's a biggin, I'm gonna click it back 2 on the drag after I set the hook. We got this fish, he's pinned, he's big, boom, 2 back, 2 clicks on the drag. If it's a really big fish, I'll do that 3rd click. So being able to play your drag, having things set to where you need them. I like to have that drag set where as soon as I start pulling with about 3 to 4 pounds of force, I should hear tick, 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 tick. I should just get barely anything. The reason I do this is, you know, a lot of times you got light line, you got 3-4 pound stud smallmouth, trophy class in California, really, and they go bigger. You know, you get bigger fish, and sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, in the initial hookup stage, you're like, I feel weight, it feels big. 2 clicks back after you set the hook so that he doesn't snap you, and then after that I'm in this situation of, okay, we're playing him, everything's fine. Then they go on that big run, you know, the big runs, the runs where you just can't do anything about it. That's when I do the 3rd click back. Now here's what I've noticed: a 4th click will lose you probably 20-25% of your fish. A 5th click will lose you 30 to 50%, you know, on average, statistically. So you click it too many by 1 or 2, you're losing, you know, 25 to 50% of the fish that you have, even if they're set, you know, they're pinned, the hook's been set. So this is important. It's an important thing to understand that sometimes the gear is not, it's a tool. You're going to use that tool to do a job. And some people, they want to use the hammer that costs $780. Some people want to use the hammer that costs $78. The difference being Do you know how to use the hammer? Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, using the hammer, you know, to say do A is different than if you're doing B or C with that hammer. So maybe you're using a hammer to tear out drywall one second, and the next you're pounding nails into wood, and the next you're actually like you know, trying to get shimmies into place. So you're kind of tapping shimmies in and creating, there's so many ways you can use a hammer. And so there's so many ways that these spinning reels, bait casters, rods, whatever, can be used. And really it comes down to no, that extra $100, $500, $1,000 you spend on that reel is not going to get you bit more. It's not going to help you land more fish. It's not going to help make, you know, it's not going to change almost anything except A, the experience of that reel in your hand. B, you know, knowing that this reel is high quality, long lasting, durable type thing, and that, I guess, you know, maybe that, I don't know, but there's really nothing about an intermediate, advanced, or a base level reel that's going to help you get bit, help you get the fish in, help you do any of that. So really understanding whether you have a $29 retail reel or a $300 retail or a $1,000 retail reel, as long as you understand how to use that tool, it's not going to be the big difference you think. Now, sometimes, like I said, when you spend bigger money, you get more of a balanced reel. You get parts that are, you know, instead of an 8-ounce reel or a 9-ounce reel, you're looking at a 4 or 5 or 6-ounce reel. I got to tell you, you know, if you're fishing jerk baits, that matters a lot. If you're fishing, you know, big baits and stuff like that, you want the bigger reel, you want the heavier reel. But if you're fishing, let's just say certain types of techniques, you know, it's not going to make difference. You know, if you're fishing other types of techniques where it just requires constant motion, it's going to wear you, it's going to drain you, it's going to, you know, fatigue your body. So keep in mind, Pflueger Presidentials are incredible reels. It's the best bang for the buck you can get. It's the best buy for the dollar. They work. I've got over a dozen. I've got, like I said, the royal blue gold accent and the baby blue, Carolina blue gold accent. They're both a metallic finish. I love them, absolutely love them. I've caught big fish, I've caught small fish, I've caught fish with every, you know, every style, technique, whatever you want to. I've really just, I've fallen in love. And I've also got moments where I want to go to a pond. I want to go and I want to like really get into an area that's thick with trees, a little bit of access, no trail. That's when you bring these Pfluegers. I mean, you're trying to get to a spot, you're bank fishing, you fall down, you smack a Pflueger, you're not tripping. You hit the Stella, you smack that Stella, you're going to be in a bad state of mind. So I like to use my high-end equipment on the boat. I like to use my intermediate and bottom line equipment or lower end equipment on the bank and getting into certain situations that are kind of rough. And sometimes I do, you know, switch it up. I'm always trying to use a high-end or medium, intermediate end rod because the performance does really matter. When you're talking about rods, yeah, there is a big difference between your baseline, your intermediate, and your high-level advanced equipment. You know, you know, so there is a big difference between a $200 rod, a $20 rod, a $200 rod, and a $1,000 rod. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference in sensitivity, in the exact design of that rod, what you want it to do. But I really hope this video helps you guys get out there, buy a Pflueger, check it out. Presidents, there's a couple other models. I've seen XTs, I've seen Patriarchs, I've used the XTs, I've used the Patriarchs. They're all right, they're nice. The Presidents, the real deal. It gets you, you know, like I said, the biggest bang for the buck. But I would say the XTs and the Patriarchs are also very good. But get yourself a Presidential. You won't be disappointed, unlike all the Presidents right now that we have that are disappointing us. This fishing reel will not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're just breaking down the Presidential, the Pflueger. Is it worth the money? Yes. Is it worth the money? Absolutely. Is it a great reel for the, any day, panfish, bass, trout, yeah, it's a phenomenal reel. They have a lot of size options. They have 20s, they have 25s, 30s, 35, 40, 45. So you have everything in the ballpark of freshwater, small game, medium-sized game, big game, saltwater, that type of thing. It covers all the spectrums. They're light, they're balanced, and they perform at a high level for 3 to 5 years. What else could you want? So hope this really helps you guys get out there, get yourself a Pflueger, get on some fish, tell me all about it. Appreciate you guys.